Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Mules, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drek. How are things going in Barovia?
Freezing.
Freezing. It's so cold, not even the Vistani can move. Yes.
That's right. Exactly. They are stuck in place. It is so cold. It's stupid. I hate winter. Dumb winter. Go away, winter. Stupid winter anyway. Nobody likes you. Go away.
Well, I'm sure the polar bears like it.
Okay, maybe the polar bears. And maybe the penguins, but that's about it.
Yes, but seeing how it's summer right now where the penguins live.
Okay, pine leaf logic.
Well, let's dispense with pine leaf logic for the moment, and let's take a look at the DDO Chronicle, where it looks like we have a nice, cozy house where it is.
See, it looks warm there.
It looks a little winterish.
How do you get winter out of that picture?
Because it looks like that we have a dusting of snow on top of the roofs there. This doesn't look like whitewash on the roof.
Yeah, okay. I guess. I do believe that is from Evening Star.
It's from Evening Star.
Almost positive that's Evening Star.
And also I see a couple of trees there that are bare. Now that tree in the middle, that seems to have leaves on it, but it could always be a holly.
Again, pine leaf logic.
All right.
In our chronicle this week, we have episode number 5 of the bonus D&D night Waterdeep Dragon Heist with the Waterdeep Dwarves minus the one drow.
Minus?
I had no power that night, so...
Oh.
Yeah, I got home, get ready to play, and I had no power. And it didn't come on until after the show was over. So they had to carry on without the most awesome drow in the world.
Ooh.
Apparently,
Horrible.
they did okay.
How did they survive without you?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Also, in the community spotlights, the High Lords is hosting another raid teaching raid, I should say. And that's going to take place Saturday, January the 26th. And that's over on Sarlona. This time out, they're going to teach Riding the Storm Out. So check that out if you want to learn that raid. The best way to learn a raid is to play with the High Lords because they know what they're doing. Let's jump in to our fan site news section of our chronicle this week. You can click over and watch the Damsels of DDO play DDO as only the damsels can. Edric, of course, is blogging still. Who is Commander Erol? Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend I can announce whoever that commander is. So click over and check that blog post out. Bard's Life with Doug Glendower. Don't forget about that. Of course, Mickey is still rating week 106. Mickey, you're insane. Episode 111 of Fridays on Ice with Baklagor. Sip still posting over on his site when the Pirates upped their game. Check out that blog post. I actually haven't read that one yet either. Don't forget Brock and Friends every Friday night. Love Brock and Friends. Brighter days ahead. Also streaming over on DDO Stream. Check to watch them out. Streaming with Even is Heroic Sands Questing. So check her out in the desert. And you can also check out Even doing some DM work as it was her night on D&D night. She's running the Sunless Citadel. So that's it for the fan site news section of our chronicle this week. But never fear, Pineleaf, we do have our chronicle comment.
We have a comment. Okay, good.
How would you free yourself from a block of ice? And see, this is good information to know because this might happen to me because it's that cold here. So I might find myself being stuck in a block of ice. So how would I get out of that block of ice, Pineleaf? That is the chronicle question.
How would you get out of a block of ice? That's tricky because I suppose that if you are a mage and have the meta magic, so you could cast it without material components and without moving your hands, and maybe without speaking if you're going to have trouble saying the words. If you can do it without any of those things, have enough magic, then I would just say some sort of a fire spell in order to melt the ice.
It's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking fireball. Fireball is appropriate. But now I just have to learn how to cast a fireball in real life.
Well, there is that.
Might be a bit of a problem, but we'll see.
Now, if it's not solid enough, I guess you could use an ice pick, but if you're inside of it, I presume you're going to be...
Yeah, it'd probably be kind of hard.
Yeah, probably kind of hard to cast fireball under such circumstances.
And that would take a long time to pick your way out, too, probably.
Yeah, true.
And we also have our screenshot of the week. Eberina enjoys the snow with her new coat. And that is the 399th DDO screenshot of the week. Almost to 400. Next week, we'll have the 400th screenshot of the week.
Ooh.
Hopefully it's a good one, because 400, that's a pretty big milestone. So don't let us down, poster, whoever sends in the winning shot.
Well, we would have to hope that the selection committee also doesn't let us down.
That's very, very true.
Whoever the selection committee is.
I know Cordovan's one of them, but I don't know anybody else.
I would presume that all of you would also be.
Probably. I don't know. I'll have to ask,
We'll see.
I'll have to ask Cordovan about that. Who actually picks those?
Then let's head into our store sales. And, oh, actually, DDO Day bonus days brings us double Mysterious Remnants weekends. Get twice the chance to earn remnants from champions now through July 27th.
Yay, remnants. More remnants. Yeah. Always good.
I always keep on forgetting what they're used for.
Well, that's because because when I play with you, we never hardly run anything on hard. So we don't ever see them drop. So that's why you forget about them.
All right. Minor little detail there. Now let's see what's on sale.
We have the Improve Your Character sale. It is 20% off select stat tomes and skill tomes. Tomes of Learning, the Harper Agent Enhancement Tree, all through January the 31st at 20% off in the store. Weekly coupon code is going to get you a Secret Door Divining Rod. Whew, that's tough to say. Use the coupon code FINDDOOR, FINDDOOR, also through January 31st.
Yeah, but you always carry a rogue with you, right? So...
See, that's right. I just run by a wall and it's like, hey, look, door's right there.
Door's right
I don't need no stinking divining rod.
I presume you've got a point with that. Thus, let's go and see what's on the tabletop. And I presume it's going to be something gloomy.
And you're going to need a very big tabletop for it. Huge. I'm talking the biggest tabletop you could find would probably be appropriate for this. Of course, if you didn't guess from the hint that Pineleaf gave, we are talking about Gloomhaven. Of course, I think everybody that listens to the show at this point knows what Gloomhaven is. You may or may not have it in your collection yet. You may have been wanting to get it. Now is the time. Over on Amazon, it is at a all-time low price. I don't think I've ever seen it this low, actually. Right now, as of this recording, it is $110.49. Okay, that is stupid, crazy cheap for Gloomhaven. I know at one point it was like $120, and that was a pretty good deal. But $110.49 is not bad. And if you're a Prime member, It is eligible for Prime, so you don't even have to pay for shipping. So it's just $110.49 for it. So that's crazy cheap. Also on sale as well, I guess you can call it a sale, the removable stickers, which you can use on them, are also $9.30. And that's a low price for them, too. I think last time I seen them fairly cheap. They were like $13, so under 10 is good for those. So you can get both the stickers and the game for about $120. So that's crazy, crazy cheap. So if you haven't jumped on the Gloomhaven train yet, now is your chance. You can go over to DDOplayers.com. You'll see the article over there. Click on that. You will see the link in the article, so you can jump on that as well if you would like to. And if I would have the money, I would jump on it so hard. I want Gloomhaven so bad.
I could just imagine how this game is. Seeing how long it is to get through the campaign,
Mm-hmm.
you might have to put in a warning. Please know that we are not responsible for time lost due to playing Gloomhaven.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. You do have to carve out a lot of time for Gloomhaven. And you have to carve out a lot of time just to take it out of the box, unbox it, get everything ready, and set the game up. It's quite the setup involved, and it's quite that. Like, the box itself is like 21 pounds or 20 pounds or so. It's like, it's stupid big. I mean, this is like, when we say a heavy game, we're not just saying the game is heavy. It's like the game is actually heavy. It's like a 20-pound box. It's insane.
Yeah, it's big.
You could kill somebody if you threw it at them, probably. Or if it fell off your game shelf and hit somebody, probably going to give them a concussion.
Well, therefore, it's considered a hazard if you place it at too high of a
Good, that's right.
shelf.
That's right. Keep it low on your game shelf, people. Keep it low.
Okay. One other little note after that is I was looking through the Kickstarter stuff today, and I noticed the name of one of the new items on Kickstarter recently. It's called Dracula's Feast New Blood.
Whoa. Time. Whoa. Let's back the show up. I'm not aware of this Kickstarter. You have piqued my interest. Tell me more of this Dracula game.
Yes. It is apparently Dracula invited the townsfolk over for dinner and maybe a few dessert. But what a pain in the neck. A mash of monsters have crashed the party looking for a bite. Now everything is at stake. How many vampire puns can you make in one blurb?
Quite a few, apparently.
Yeah. So it comes with 10 guest cards, 10 accusation cards, 16 whisper cards, 8 double-sided reference cards. I think it's for something like 4 to 8 players. It's a social deduction type game.
That's what I was going to ask. To say, by the way you described it in that little blurb there, I'm like, I'm seeing this being a social deduction game.
Yeah.
My interest is piqued.
Okay. So you could check that out after the show and see whether it's something that's of interest to you or not. I know thematically it is, but
True. I usually don't get into like social deduction games that much, but we'll see.
I would think that with as cutthroat a group as you have.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of strange.
Oh, unless there's a type that would play resistance where you will intentionally backstab your own side.
We would if we would pay resistance. We would. It's kind of funny. My friend and I just talked about that this weekend, and we mentioned resistance too, because we're like, why have we never played that? Or any social deduction game for that matter, because we do screw each other over a lot, and those are good games to do that with. So I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this Pine Leaf. I have no idea.
Yeah, you'd want to do a social deduction game that is designed for people to stab each other.
True.
In there, because
like I said, with us it doesn't matter. Even if the game's not designed that way, we make it that way somehow anyway.
Yeah, but at least you won't kill the purpose of the game.
Well, that's true.
if
See,
it's designed for that.
I keep threatening one of these times I'm going to record us like playing a game, any game, and you can actually see what I'm talking about. It's it's amazing what happens when we sit down and play games together. It's like amazing things happen. And then it's usually who can screw over each other the most, and then it's just that's what we do.
I could just imagine your group trying to play diplomacy.
Oh my god, we'd kill each other, like literally kill each other. I can't even imagine. Oh my god.
Then let's go and see what's on the screen. Netflix is set to reboot Unsolved Mystery.
This is just weird. Just weird. If you don't remember Unsolved Mysteries, that was a show that was pretty amazing for its day. It was kind of like the first show of its kind for its day. It was hosted by Robert Stack, and they would sometimes it might be, like some kind of paranormal thing, or maybe it would be, somebody got murdered, nobody knew who murdered them, or somebody was missing, or stuff like that. I think it's on maybe Hulu and Netflix, I think, the original, if you want to watch the original. But yeah, it looks like Netflix is going to reboot it, and they have teamed up with the producers of Stranger Things for a modern take on the series, is how Netflix is describing it. And then as with the original series, investigators will be looking for viewers to help solve the case. So it's weird. And the Hollywood Reporter is saying that unlike the original series, each episode is going to focus on just a single case rather than multiple cases. So it's weird. The original series debuted in the late 80s, and it ran for 14. I didn't realize it ran for 14 seasons, and they had almost 600 episodes. And each episode of the show covered a different real-life mystery. Usually, like I said, it was like a true crime thing, and there was even a paranormal one at most times that had to do with like a ghost or maybe like a Bigfoot sighting or something like that. But so that's all Netflix has said about it so far. No release date or anything, but the Stranger Things guys and Netflix gonna reboot Unsolved Mysteries.
Now my question is, when you said that they would often take true crime things and stuff like that and ask the viewers, has anything actually ever been solved as a result of this?
Oh, tons of stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like almost every other week they would do, like at the very end of the show, they would do case update. And it was always somebody getting arrested because somebody saw the episode and say, hey, that's the guy that lives down the road, or, something like that. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they solved like some kidnappings. They solved a couple of murders, I think. So, yeah.
Okay, so it could come in useful.
Yeah, it could. Then again, leave my childhood alone. Like, come up with an original idea for once. But okay, I'm optimistic that this is going to work, but we'll see, I guess. So yeah, Netflix going to reboot Unsolved Mysteries.
Then let's head into Direwolf. Direwolf Digital announces digital versions of a half dozen tabletop games. And are they any of them that are of interest to me?
Well, I think so. Gather a chair and sit down. This is a very long list.
Uh-oh.
First up, we have Raiders of the North Sea. And that, of course, is from Renegade Games. So, that's a fun game. So a digital version of that will be. But the one that
Vikings.
Vikings. The one that piqued my interest the most. Ooh. Not just because of the game. Well, the game is interesting. I'd like to see a digital version of the game. It's what might happen because of this. But WizKids has also signed up with Direwolf Digital, and they have announced they are going to come out with Mage Knight Digital. So that's pretty exciting. I've always wanted to play Mage Knight. I've never played it. Very interested to check it out. So I think the digital adaptation will be amazing. But they also said the deal that they formed with WizKids would allow them to, and I'm going to quote them here in the press release, the deal is going to allow them to put out more digital translations of other games in the future. Cough. Fury of Dracula. Cough.
Other games. Oh, okay. I see where that's coming in at.
I'm thinking, I can think of one game you should do a digital version of. Fury of Dracula. Do it.
Yes. Well, the tricky thing with Fear of Dracula is it seems to keep on changing who the secondary publisher is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure WizKids is going to hold on to it because the 4th edition that they just released is doing rather well for them.
All right, let's see.
Pretty sure they're going to hold on to it. But another reason why I'm excited about that is because they have also done, Direwolf has done apps for Renegade Game Studios for games. They're the ones that actually made the Clank app. So I'm thinking, make a Fury of Dracula app that would act as Dracula. And then, see where I'm going with that?
I see what you're saying there. I thought you liked playing Dracula.
Well, I do. But I'm just saying that would be cool because then you could technically almost play it solo probably if the app was done right. So,
if the app were done right.
We'll see. All they have announced, though, right now is Mage Knight. But it did say the door is open for them to do other games. So we'll see.
Okay, but Mage Knight is number 24 on the Geek List. So I'm pretty sure that'll be the highest ranked game in this list of 6.
Probably. Up next from them, a digital version of Root, and that is the asymmetrical game from Leader Games, which we did an interview with them, and we showed that off at Gen Con. So if you go back in our Gen Con videos for last year, you'll see us talking about Root.
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet.
And then Sagrada is another one they're going to do a digital game, which I can probably see you getting into this digital version. Because you've played Sagrada, haven't you?
Yes, I have played Sagrada.
Okay, I thought so. So, yeah. So that would be it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do that digitally, but I think that will be interesting.
It should work.
And then also they have announced they are going to do Yellow and Yangsty, and that is Reiner Knizia's spiritual successor to his Tigers and Euphrates game. I'll be honest, I've never heard of this game. I've heard of Tigers and Euphrates, but never heard of Yellow and Yangsty, I guess is how you pronounce that.
Yangtze is usually how I pronounce it. At least whenever I've been hearing, I don't think I ever heard it in the game context being mentioned, but when I hear about the rivers, I usually hear them pronounced that way. And so essentially a Chinese version of Tigris and Euphrates.
Okay, all right. And then, but wait, there's more.
Yeah. More?
There's more. The studio also announced that it is going to be bringing the World War I aerial combat miniatures game Wings of Glory for a digital version as well. And all these are going to be coming to PC and mobile. So you can read into that Steam.
Steam? All right.
There is no release dates.
Steam where you live.
Yeah, well, that's true. Exactly. There's no release dates on any of these other than Raiders is going to be out Q1 of this year. So anytime now, apparently. That's really the only one. Other than that, the other ones are in the future. They said they will update as they have more announcements on some of these. But pretty cool. I always like to see digital version of board games if they're done right. There are some really bad digital versions of tabletop games, but if they're done right, I think it's a good deal.
I've run into several of them. Is one of the greatest things that I hear complaints about is how in all these years Dominion still hasn't gotten a halfway decent digital version, because every single attempt at it so far has always been
I
has been panned, and everyone says, "No, I can do it. I can do it better," and it's just as bad as the previous one.
yeah. So, but like I said, if done right,
It's done right.
thumbs up to digital translation of tabletop games. So look for all those coming from Dire Wolf Digital.
All right then. Then let's head into our week in gaming. And Drac, what were you up to? And I presume you're probably playing something to try to keep warm.
Some tabletop. Didn't play much video games. I've had another one of my weeks that I've been having recently. At some point, I hope to actually play some freaking video games.
Ooh.
My goal is at some point to actually play a video game. That would be a novel concept, because I do have this podcast where I talk about DDO and other video games, and I haven't really played much video games. I played a little bit of DDO with you. I'll let you talk about that, as you always do. Did actually play some tabletop this weekend, though. A little bit. Had a friend come over, and we checked out a couple games I'm going to have some reviews on soon-ish. The first one was Dungeon Mayhem. That is the brand new game from Wizards of the Coast, loosely set in the D&D universe. If you play D&D, you know the character types. There's a rogue, there's a fighter, there's a paladin, and there's a cleric. So that's as D&D-ish as it gets, but some of the card names and the skills that you use, there's a lot of in-jokes if you're like a D&D player, because it's funny. Like the rogue, one of my skills for damaging was daggers, and then I had another one that was even more daggers, and then there was one that was called even more daggers. So stuff like that. It's a really easy game to learn. You're basically battling it out. You pick your character, and then you battle it out to see who can knock each other out first. So it's like a card fighting type game, and you have shields you can lay down. So if your opponent has a shield up and you play a damage card, their shield will absorb some of the damage before it actually gets to them. So quick, easy, fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. I can see this a good game for even non game players, because it's really easy to learn. They might not get some of the in-jokes, and they might not understand, why is this cleric doing some of the stuff that the cleric's doing, but fun game. So a full review of that coming soon. And then played When in Rome again. I know I talked about it a long time ago that I played it, but I wanted to play it again because I do have to get the review up for it, so I wanted to play it again. Of course, When in Rome is from Voice Originals, and that is a game that you play with your She Who Not Shall Be Named.
That one.
Yeah, I had to say that because I forgot to put mine on mute, so I can't say her name, or she shall interrupt the show like she has done in the past. And it's a trivia game about flying around the world, and you go to cities, and then actual people from that city ask you a question, and then you get points, and so on and so forth. Interesting game. Not sure about the replayability of it. It had been a while since I played it, but at least from what I can remember, there was no repeat questions. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't know how many questions there are. And it's a little unbalanced just for the fact that you also have souvenirs that randomly come out. She Who Not Shall Be Named will tell you, oh, I just heard there's a souvenir, and it might be the ring. There's 5 different souvenirs. And she'll tell you, oh, there's a ring in Cairo. And then if you are the first one to get to Cairo to get that ring and you answer the question correctly, you get the points for answering the question correctly, and you get the souvenir. Well, the souvenir is worth 7 points. So if you can manage to get to most of the souvenirs before the other team, you're going to win the game outright, because that's 7 points right there. And the trivia questions themselves that they ask you are worth either 1 point or 3 points. So it's a little unbalanced, I think. And I'm not sure about the replayability, but we'll see. But that's kind of not really, I guess, a dig on it. That's kind of a problem with any trivia game in general, though, is the whole replayability, because there's so many trivia. There's only so many trivia questions you can ask about a certain topic. So
that's
not really a dig on it per se, other than I think it's a little unbalanced. But full review of that coming up. And then go ahead.
I'm sure that's what kept Trivial Pursuit on the gravy train, was to have being able to put out new versions all the time.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly, and that's pretty much why they did it, because it's like, oh, hey, people have had this for about a year. They probably went through all those questions. So let's release a new version and we'll call it this. Yeah, exactly. So, and then now the last tabletop game we played was Kaiju Crush. And of course, that's from our friends over at Fireside Games. That is the monster fighting game where you're battling it out, taking over a city, battling each other. My friend had never played that, so we decided to play it. I love that game. That game is so much fun. Justin DeWitt over at Fireside Games designed just a wonderful, easy-to-learn game. It's really easy to learn, easy to teach. There was one thing I did forget. We had to look in the rule book because I forgot how one thing worked, because it had been a while since I played it. But quick and easy. Love it, love it, love it. If you haven't read our review of that, go ahead and check that out. Just go over to DDO Players and search for either Kaiju Crush review or Fireside Games, and it should pull right up. It's been a while since I reviewed that, but fun game. But other than that, that was pretty much my week in gaming. Again, one of these days, I swear I'm going to play a video game. It's going to be a novel concept for me to actually play a video game, but it's going to happen. And what a glorious, glorious day it shall be.
Let's go into my weeks then. We'll begin with what I did with you, where we headed into, well, actually, we continued in Three Barrel Cove after leveling up to 6, where we ran Prove Your Worth, the Troglodytes Get, Old Grey Garl, but it turned out that while the game allowed us to go into the dungeon and complete it, it did not advance us on whatever quest line we are on, so we didn't get credit for the point. We got credit for it for the saga, which apparently checks the dungeon, but we didn't get credit for it from the point of view of getting a quest reward.
Yeah, which I thought was really weird. I don't remember that being that way, because all I remembered was you did the Troglodytes Get, and then you went right back in to do Old Grey Garl. So I told Pine Leaf, I'm like, okay, while we're here anyway, we can just go in and get the second one done before we move on. So that's what we did. And then we got done playing for the night. We went to turn everything in, and I got to the quest giver first, and I was like, crap, we have to turn Troglodytes Get in and then talk to him again, and then he gives us Old Grey Garl, and then we go back in. I'm like, But yeah, then we checked the Saga Keeper, and the Saga was like checked off that we did it. So I'm like, that's kind of weird that it gives you credit for the Saga, but not the quest. But so we have to run that again. But that's a pretty fun.
Well, we don't necessarily have to do it again,
I guess not
unless you expect it to have a really great reward.
It's possible, or we could run it and maybe do it on hard this time.
I suppose that's theoretically possible.
And then, but I don't know. It's just weird. I'm not sure that I almost bugged it, but I guess I don't know if that's a bug per se, but it seems like a bug. I didn't remember it ever being that way, but anyway, it's all right. At least we got credit for the Saga. That's really all that matters, I guess. Yeah.
And then we ran the Scoundrel's Mine, which has I believe that's the one that had the puzzle that made last week's puzzle look easy.
No, that was in Prove Your Worth.
Oh, that was in Prove Your Worth. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Pine Leaf gave up on a puzzle. I didn't think the day would ever come. But yeah, that puzzle Improve Your Worth is a pain in the butt. And to Pine's credit, he tried to figure it out for 10 minutes maybe, something like that. And finally he's
Yeah.
like I can't understand.
Well,
You started to figure
so
it out.
Random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You started to figure it out. I think you were onto it, but then there is a lot of randomness to it, I think. So yeah, so I just went and looked it up, and I told him how to solve it, and then he solved it. But,
okay.
Scoundrel's Mind did have the puzzle. That was the one that had the puzzle that went over the floor and then down and unlock the door underneath, because you had to do the puzzle to to lower the drawbridge. And then there was like an extra part of that puzzle that you had to do that it went down and then opened the door below it. So yeah.
Yes, which we did figure out. We were wondering what's going on, and then eventually said, wait a minute, there's this puzzle piece going here, and it's it's a continuation of the one I did earlier. And I hadn't noticed that one actually continued, but
yeah, I was like down below and I'm like, door's not open, still not open. Oh, hey, what'd you do? There, it's open.
Yeah.
And Punny was like, that's tricky of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But at least it was fairer than
another
puzzle.
I had forgot how bad Prove Your Worth. That quest just kind of sucks in general. I mean, it's alright because there was a lot of traps and stuff. You know, since I'm a rogue, I disabled all them. But that puzzle is, and then I told Pine Leaf, I'm like, after I read him the answer to that, I'm like, how would anybody figure this out? How would a normal, sane human being set and figure this stupid puzzle out? I mean, obviously somebody had to at one point, because the answer is out in the wild, as they say. So somebody had to at some point figure it out, right? But how would you figure that out?
Well, I think if you're willing to spend a couple of hours trying it all by brute force, you could do it. But it was one of those puzzles where I didn't think I'd be be confident enough on making progress and have time to kill enough in order to want to fiddle with it.
Right.
And I didn't think I was willing to, because after last week, making you wait all that time.
Right, and I didn't have any laundry to do this week, so I'm like,
I'm
like, okay, it's cool. I'm here, just whatever. Take your time.
Right.
I'll just sit here and drink my beer. It's cool.
Anyway, let's go then to my Dragonborn Artificer, who is level 11. Now, I was wondering whether I should head back into Barovia or do something else. And because my plan is to record the Barovia quests and post them in February, I thought maybe I'll gain some XP on the side first and then head back into Barovia. Therefore, I went, especially when I realized that I didn't have the voice of the master, of course. Now, then I remembered, that must mean I'm going to do the Dolores Grammar. Then I remember, this is the character where I finished off the graveyard and took the rune arm instead of the voice of the master. So I thought, well, does that mean I have to run it again? And can you get it if you run it again and all that stuff? And then I thought, what about going to Threnel? So I went into Threnel, ran the Giant's Lair, the Giant's Lieutenants, the Giant Supplies. Those are 3 of the side dungeons. Then the Library of Threnel, escort the expedition, and hold for reinforcements. So I ran all of those things, got some XP, and I'm making my way towards getting the whatever they call the master gift that's in that dungeon. So I thought,
Mantle of the World Shaper.
Yeah, Mantle of the World Shaper. That makes a lot of sense for Arneson. Yes.
Yeah, and then if you have that and you have Voice of the Master, you can combine them together into the Master's Gift.
So that's what you do in order to get the Master's Gift. Okay.
Yes. So that means note for ourselves in our new characters, we're going to have to run that and get that. So we can get the Master's Gift. Yes.
Then in tabletop, I played Doctor Who: Time of the Daleks.
Okay. Time out.
What?
Yet again, I'm jealous. Another game that you have that I would love to own. I didn't even know you owned this game.
Well, I just got it.
Okay. Continue. Tell me about it.
All right, so this was my first playthrough of it, and I followed the suggestion of doing it of a couple of leaving out a couple of rules on there in playing it through the first time. So I'm playing it through the first time, and the thing about it is this is a semi-cooperative game because if you ever saw a multi-doctor episode, you know they semi-cooperate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's fitting on it. The only problem is that when you're playing solo on a semi-cooperative game, obviously some of the balance doesn't quite work out on there. What I decided to do was, in the rule, it says whichever doctor reaches Gallifrey first wins, or actually, whichever doctor is the first to be at Gallifrey at the end of a Dalek turn is the winner. Assuming that the Daleks didn't get there first, of course.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and all right. What I decided to do for this one is to require that I get both of the doctors that I was controlling to Gallifrey before the Daleks get there in order to win. So that added a little extra that I had to do in order to win in there. But since I was playing in easy mode anyway, since it was my first time, I figured that's a little bit of a trade-off in there. But I have a feeling the way the cards are and stuff like this, it probably works better as a semi-cooperative game. I'm just trying to figure out your group, though, in that, yes, the doctors tend to bicker with each other and all that stuff, but I could just imagine your group trying to play this game.
I can imagine.
Yeah. they're not exactly known for being the most cooperative group, even compared to the doctors.
It's true. No, wow. We would have fun with that, I bet.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that.
I can just imagine some of the scenarios that would come out of that gameplay.
I'm just imagining. Now, the game out of the box is designed for up to 4 players. And it comes with 4 doctors because the rest of the doctors are being saved for expansions that are, last I heard, are slated to come out this year, though I heard that Gale Force 9 isn't exactly known for being reliable and putting out expansions for the games that they're planning on if the sales records don't look good.
No, not really.
So, assuming that the sales records are enough to inspire them to release them, then they were planning to have a few expansions out this year to add more doctors. It comes out of the box with the 1st, 4th, 10th, and 11th doctor. No, sorry. 1st, 4th, 11th, and 12th doctors.
Okay.
So I guess they had the first because...
Well, he's the first.
He's the first. You've got to have him, of course. And then the 12th prop, because the game came out during the 12th Doctor's time there, so they had to include him. But I'm sure a lot of people still remember number 11, which is probably why number 11 was there too. And of course, the 4th Doctor, for a long time, I remember how in the U.S., the 4th Doctor was the only one available.
Right, yeah. That's about the time I started watching Doctor Who, maybe, because it was on PBS.
Yeah. Well, I started watching
and I'm trying to think if it was I can't remember which actually doctor it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I started watching it was right when the regeneration happened, right at Logopolis and Castrovelva.
Okay. All right. Yep.
So therefore, that, I guess, broke the ice for someone other than Tom Baker being the doctor. So when they finished up with what they had with Davison, they went back, did another round with Baker plus Davison. But soon afterwards, they noticed, they got the rights to the earlier doctors finally. That's when we were able to... And in fact, I think they didn't even wait till they got through to the end of what they had. I think they did some skipping so that they could go back and restart.
So I know it's like originally designed for like 2 to 4. So how does it play solo?
Yeah. Well, I was playing two doctors.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, I did tell you that I required that I get both doctors to the.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you did. I guess I
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have
yes,
thought
the
that's what
galaxy.
that meant. Okay, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what that meant in
Okay.
there.
All right. Yep. Makes sense.
There's there are some cards that I don't understand quite how it'll work if you're playing it solo or full cooperative, and that is that there is this card where it says you can get an extra die of the color specified on the card. These are the Clara cards, and the Clara cards you get a die plus one die of the specified color, and then you hand it to another doctor, which in a semi-cooperative game is gives it a trade-off in there of using it because now you're giving a little something to someone who might use it to get ahead of you or something like this. But if you're playing full cooperative or solo, that means you're using this and now you're okay going to be helping someone else now. It's not as agonizing a decision on giving it to someone else or something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So those cards I think are a little bit weakened by the way I was playing it. And some of the cards probably might become less useful or something like this, but then they could be used as fodder for tossing for some effect or something like that. So it's just that I think that the Clara cards become OP if you're playing full cooperative.
It's because Clara is the best companion. Everybody knows that.
Well, yes, there is that little.
Ooh, I'm sure we're gonna get emails now. I stand by that. Clara's the best companion, bar none. Thank you very much.
Well, seeing how what that inspired me to it is when I was reading some of the things on there is I was looking through companions and I ran into Osgood and I was like, oh, that's strange. I don't remember that companion anywhere. And I found out that, well, I was going through all the seasons of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the middle of, I think I'm getting near the end of 9 right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going through the season of Doctor Who, and I went through the various Christmas specials that with them, but I totally missed the anniversary special list.
Oh, okay.
So I did not see the Day of the Doctor.
Okay. Oh, you gotta watch that. That is amazing.
So therefore, I went on that, and I saw that over the weekend. So, in fact, I saw it either just before or after we recorded the previous episode, I think, or something like that. But yes, I went to see that one. So I saw that one and I was like, all right. But I got the impression that there must have been some sort of sequel. And it turned out that it was because the next one that was on my list, which of course I went and saw, was the girl that died and the one that lived. And the next two after that were the sequel episodes to the Day of the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen those then. So I'm starting to catch up, and maybe soon I'll be able to catch up on that. But anyway, that reminded me that I was a little behind on my Doctor watching after playing that also. Now, as for how the game is, as I said, I have a feeling it's a little bit stronger as a semi-cooperative game than it is that if you're trying to play it solo or if you're trying to play it full cooperative or anything like that. That's the feeling I got from trying to play it. Oh yes, and in Minecraft, I did a little bit more building my railroad thing. I finished everything up to the first terminal of and the first station of the Southern Line. And in my multiplayer world, I completed a set of 3 water shrines I've been building this month. And one of them I think I might have mentioned before, which was my Nether portal. One of them is one I built up in the harbor as a safe haven in there. And the third one I built in a deeper part of the water. I was originally thinking of building it as a sphere, but in the end I thought, no, why go through all the trouble of building something underwater and then make it an enclosed sphere? It just did not make sense. So instead I made it an open sphere, sort of. And I think that sort of fit exactly what I wanted for it. And I think I actually liked how those 3 builds came out in the end, which is probably pretty good for the season because when I built the Sea Ghost last month, I was not quite satisfied with my build on the Sea Ghost, but I like the shrines I did this month much better. We currently have 21 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help us support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or you can be guests with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And I believe we have a featured comment from Storm on Caneth.
We do. He wrote in on our last episode over on the website. Thanks for another awesome episode. The /quest completions command will tell you how many times you have completed certain quest, whereas the compendium does not. It is of consequence due to the 20th completion mechanic on every 20th completion. Certain raids offer you a choice of raid list. So if you remember last episode, we were talking about that /quest command. I said, why would anybody use that when you can just look in the compendium? Because it tells you how many times you've completed the quest. So now I'm going to look that up and see how many times I've done Death House. A lot. Spoiler, a lot.
A lot. Now, the question is, does it get I presume it gets reset like Compendium does when you TR?
I would think so, yes.
Okay.
Most positive it probably would, yes.
That would make sense. If you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Dracula @Dracula_72, and Piney Pet Piney Feels. You could also follow Drac on Twitch @Dracula_72 whenever he finally has an opportunity to play video games.
Exactly. It'll happen one day, and it's going to be glorious.
It's going to be glorious. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows on Thursdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Loja Players News. You can join us for all the shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight, and this is Piney Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.